Let's get expert. Expert.
What's up, man?
How you
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, expert?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. What's on your mind?
Man, I got a lot. I got quite a few things to say to you, to be honest with you, man.
All right, go.
Well, I guess the first thing I'll say is I do support your message overall.
Okay.
Um, I appreciate the fact that you are an outspoken advocate for Black people.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need people like that. I think that's important.
Now, are you a Caucasian?
But
Are you Caucasian?
no, 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 I'm Black. I'm half FBA.
Okay. Where's your mom from?
So my mom was born in LA, but my grandfather is from Paris, Texas. So it's in like the northern part of Texas, like on the border of Oklahoma.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm actually funnily enough, my grandfather's great grandfather was actually a slave. He was born in Mississippi. He was on a cotton plantation in Mississippi. So I'm half FBA.
And where's your dad from?
He's from El Salvador.
Okay, got it. Got it. Got it.
Well, he was born in LA too, but his family's from El Salvador.
Got it. Okay. So,
Yeah.
what issues do you have?
Um, I think that overall you are, I feel like your message is good. You say a lot of good things, but I feel like you've become kind of a net negative to the Black community in some
How
respects.
so?
The fuck is he
I feel
talking
like
about?
you're a net negative because you preach a lot of divisiveness, and it's not necessarily that divisiveness is bad inherently, but I think it's kind of like counterproductive at the end of the
Give
day.
an
Like the
an
sum.
example of my divisiveness that I speak of.
So you
Right.
reiterate a lot of kind of like white supremacist narratives, in my opinion,
Like
stuff
what?
that you would hear.
You keep saying,
Um,
you go, wait. Okay, I've asked three times to give an example. You just made a bunch of accusations if you've not given one example.
okay,
We're
okay.
not.
I can give you an example.
So now that's kind of white supremacy when you just kind of say shit and don't back it up. Give
Okay.
me an example of
Yeah.
what
Yeah, yes.
divisive
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like white supremacy. I got to hear this.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I would say a lot of times when you talk about like black folks, especially like African immigrants, especially, it comes across that way. Like when you say you're bush meat, things like that, or when you say like you come from a failed homeland, things like that. Like when you say things like that, it's very reminiscent of white supremacist talking points.
Is calling us lazy and we don't work hard and we're on drugs. Is that white supremacy? Because they do that to us all the time.
Oh no, that is. It,
So
it goes both
how
ways. It goes both ways.
El Salvadorians, your
What about them?
they come over here with them El Salvadorian gangs, MS-13 and all of them.
Hmm. Not my family.
Nah,
We came here legally.
nah, but still, them El Salvadorians, they're clicked in with the Aryans over here, especially in jail.
Is that true?
Yeah,
I don't think that's true.
yeah,
I,
it ain't
where is this? Is this in LA?
Southern California. Yeah, the Hispanic.
I'm from LA. I've never heard that.
Have you never been to jail? You don't know about
True.
the system. They do.
Yeah.
They're allied with the Aryans in jail, the Mexicans and the El
That's
Salvadorians,
crazy. I didn't even
MS-13s and
know
all
that.
them.
I
They
didn't even
Well,
know
that's
that.
terrible.
they align with the white. So what you just did was called a projection, sir. That's a projection. All right. So we better be clear on not putting out projections like that. That's not
Well,
now what now
okay.
divisive. Now you said something about divisive.
Yeah.
What's divisive?
So I would say this, right? I lived in DC for a while and I met a lot of Ethiopians and I met a lot of Somalians
Right?
and a lot of them are outspoken, a lot of them are advocates for foundational Black Americans as well. A lot of us get along perfectly well with them and there's no animosity or beef. And I think you're trying to like stir up this artificial conflict between.
Bro, he don't even sound white. I mean, sound black. He said that he's half FBA, but you don't sound half. Damn, I couldn't even talk. He don't even sound half FBA. He don't even sound. What is it, Honduran? What do they speak? Like Spanish and shit, right? Yeah, nah, he don't. I know you can't go off the way a person sound or the way they pronounce their words, but it's just something fishy about this guy. It seems like you came here to argue about what FBAs are doing, but then you don't want to. You act like we not responding to things that's happening. You making it seem like we out here just bullying motherfuckers. Damn, I'm cursed. I'm not supposed to be cursed, but fuck it. You making it seem like we out here just yapping around and just attacking y'all. Like, and then you want to get up and say, "Oh, you're being divisive," but dude, you are in my space. You've been listening to me forever, and you're not even. I'm not even talking to you. That's crazy. Hold on, man. Let me think about this for a second. The people that call up to his show, he is speaking to his people. Why is there so many of other people want to listen to him, and then get so bold as if you want to stop him communicating with who he really trying to talk to, and you're so bold you will get up in front of all these black people and want to have a conversation about how he should be. You in his space, you in his area, and try to tell him how he should be doing stuff. That's crazy, man. I don't like it no more, bro. It used to be entertaining for me, but now it just seems like it's like, okay, like if you don't like what you, like FBAs, if you don't like Foundation of Black Americans, then why in the hell are you in our space? And then not even just in our space and listen to what we're talking about, because you always want to be around. You're not even doing that. You want to have a question and feel bold to just, well, let me stop you from talking to your people and answer my questions, how much I don't like you. That's crazy. I am not invested enough to be sitting in a room with people who don't like me and is talking against me. I don't want to sit around and listen to that. Take it even farther. I wouldn't even want to be asked a question. I wouldn't want to get up there and voice my opinion, knowing that everybody in the room do not want to hear what you got to say. We are here gathering amongst ourselves on social media or online. This ain't even your fucking area, bro. This is for foundational Black Americans, Black people, not white people who want to say, whoa, why you doing this? Or asking questions and shit. It's kind of like, why do you care? Why are you in our space? I swear to God, bro, I'm not in no white people's uh 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 what would you call it? Gathering or whatever. I am not sitting there listening. And then when I hear them say stuff I don't like, which is the whole meeting is about you anyway, but you gonna you just feel comfortable sitting up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, we at 9 o'clock now. And you listening to this man who's speaking to his people, particularly his people, and you want to go and say how you don't like it. You want to voice your opinion. You think this should be every space should be where you speaking up for both in all sides and all shades of color. No, because you definitely not going to where your white people at and telling them, hey, why y'all not showing black people love? You're not doing that. You're not even over to listen to them. What you doing, you over here in our shit. And that's a problem, man.
African immigrants and black people, and it's just like,
It's,
why are you creating an unnecessary conflict? It's
See?
like not, I
wait,
don't think
Well,
that's necessary.
wait, so
listen, you come on this man live, you know what this man do. You know who he talking to, and then you say some shit like that. It's crazy. Like, who asked for your opinion over here? We don't care about your opinion. That's why we're talking amongst ourselves. Man, you know what? I need to create an app or something that If you want to just be a certain type of people that's in there listening, it can even get in. It should be an app to be like, okay, this is for only black people. Only foundation of black Americans can listen to this. Everybody else get the fuck out. Nah, we couldn't do that. We couldn't do that. I'm thinking about that now because I would want to better go listen to some rhetoric of some people building up animosity against me. So nah, this shit needs to be open. It needs to be open. Everybody got it right. I didn't invent this shit. That's why they let me make the rules. So it's cool. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, leave that shit open. White people, come on in. If y'all want to listen, you can listen. Because I want to go listen to y'all shit if I want to. That's crazy. They get up here and they mad. It's like they like listening to him, but they don't like his message. That's crazy. I'm not fans of people like that. I don't follow people that I hate and participate with them and give them like I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't even go into why I know they in there speaking some evil what's that shit. I don't want to. I can't sit in that. I can't just sit in it. And I'm definitely not gonna try to go up there and fuck up their little mood because I want them to please me. That's crazy.
Spoken. A lot of them are advocates for foundational Black Americans as well. A lot of us get along perfectly well with them, and there's no animosity or beef. And I think you're trying to like stir up this artificial conflict.
Look, I think you trying to stir up some so you could possibly be wrong in your thinking. That's an easy fix, man. And if I'm and listen, and if my following, and if you're not a part of my following, why do you want me to convert and make you happy too? When my whole following is against you. My whole following is them becoming the great people of their own self. My following is foundational Black Americans, not immigrants. It's and why do you feel so comfortable coming over here in Black people shit and telling them that they need to conform for you, but you're not doing that in other people's stuff? Why are you messing with us? The fuck, man. You're not going over there with them Asian people that they've been doing it for years. You ain't said a lick about them people. Them people, they sit over there and they all look communities talking, whatever, whatever. You're not interrupting them. You're not even trying to go sit over and see what they doing. You don't even know what they doing. But you see some black people trying to steady climbing that motherfucking ladder. And you want to, what's going on with them? What's going on? Yeah, I think you're being divisive. I think you're trying to stir up some stuff. It seems like you're trying to stir up some stuff, sir. By over here in our fucking area. Ain't nobody asked you to come over here. You didn't get invited over here. We didn't say, hey, come over here and listen to this and give us your opinion. We didn't. We was over here gathered by our damn self, and you coming in this motherfucker and you want to have a big ass opinion, talking about, oh, shut the fuck up.
Between African immigrants and Black people, and it's just like, why are you creating an unnecessary conflict?
Wait,
It's like not, I
wait,
don't think that's necessary.
wait. So you're saying, because what you're saying to all of us in here, that
See, all of us in here, you ain't even
immigrants
supposed to be in here.
who come here do things to us, do things to get in positions over us to harm us. We're not supposed to call that out. We're not supposed to call out all of these non FBAs who's a part of the Congressional Black Caucus who get in power and don't do anything for our lineage, but do a bunch of things for immigrants. And that's not divisive, but us calling it out is divisive.
Well, what are they? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to be specific. What are they not doing for Black people? How are they sabotaging Black people?
They don't.
Because I don't.
Well, when you have people like Kamala Harris, the head tether in charge, who say with her whole chest, she ain't gonna do nothing that only benefits Black people, yeah, that's a problem. You ain't.
Tariq, you have to see the bigger
Oh,
picture.
I see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is her ass not getting elected. That's what the bigger picture is.
Tariq, are you aware of how unpopular reparations is? Not even just
Do you
amongst,
think I give a damn? We don't.
well, I'm saying
We
That nigga
Kamala is
said, "Do you?"
worried about political viability. She's
it,
not going to go
well,
up
Because
there
she
and say
don't
she
get
wants to.
no,
reparations. Fuck boy.
LGBT stuff ain't that popular either, but they press for it. Don't nobody
Hey,
want
that was a
that
good
shit.
one
They
right
don't
there,
want
Tariq.
trans stuff in the schools, but they put it in there anyway. That's extremely unpopular.
That's
They
a good.
put it in anyway.
That's a good
So I
fucking.
don't give a damn what's unpopular. We're standing on business. Slavery and freedom wasn't popular. We said, hey, we're going to make it popular. Civil rights wasn't popular. These folks didn't want us to have no civil rights in the 60s. Why?
Well, you have. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, 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 no. See, you're bringing your immigrant side of the family. You're bringing that mindset over here that we don't have. That's why it looks divisive to you because we stand on business based on what's righteous, not what's popular. Some bullshit can be popular. We're standing on what's righteous. And what's righteous is justice. What's righteous is our reparations. I don't give a damn if it's unpopular. They sit up here and give our resources to all of these non FBAs. That's divisive. Are you saying
Well, how?
we're supposed to just sit here and let our resources get given away to all of these other groups indefinitely?
That's crazy.
Well, no, 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 no. Not give.
Say, I'm gonna say something on the cool. My partner, he drive trucks. He got more loads now. They paying him more. At my job, I'm getting overtime at the anus. Not mandatory, but just hey, you want it, you want it, you got it. It's there for you. You know what I mean? We can use it at work. You know what I mean? The niggas is gone. Fucking, it ain't a ghost town because there's a lot of black people there. But like, nigga, a lot of them gone. You know what I'm saying? Out of those easy money. Now we can get to forcing these jobs to pay us the right amount and not having to keep it at low dollar bill on Julio over here and all his people making it in the fucking job deal on wages low because they can pay them. And oh shit, well fuck you, Tyrone. You tell your ass. We got Julio over here. We pay him $12. And he'll bring in about 50 more people, and we don't need y'all. Y'all gonna go. Y'all look 22 and 23. Y'all was supposed to be getting. Yeah, we just gonna fire y'all. We just let all y'all go. We just bring in on Julio, make whoever is best English speaking out of Julio, make them the supervisor. You know what I mean? So to make sure that hey, this is gonna be the new payment, and you go, they all go through you. $12 now. It's not a 22 job no more. This is nah, man. That shit is gone. That shit is dead now. And that's why all these companies be rooting for these fucking immigration shit because they want the free labor. Well, you know what? I don't own no companies. So to be honest, them help me. That's wrong to say. It didn't really help me. I mean, I got more hours, but it really didn't affect me in no way, no how. I'm just capping, y'all. I'm really just capping just for content though. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Nah, but I do kind of feel that way though, bro. But not as much. Like, it's not like a main thing on my mind. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. And then what they saying? They saying, oh, they gonna come for us next. Oh, you FBS, you Trump gonna get you out of here next. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. No, he ain't, man. Stop hating. And y'all acting like just cause we ain't siding with y'all that we siding with them. We ain't. We on our own square. We is on our own square. We ain't siding with no side. We on our side now. That's what we used to do that was wrong. And that's what we picking up now. That's why you get all this. Oh, nope. Oh, it's the illegal immigrants. Y'all want to know we ain't helping y'all. Nah, fuck that. Where y'all niggas at when we was in the trenches? And did nobody come to our aid, my nigga? But we didn't know how powerful we was. Now we know how powerful we are. We hold out. Yeah, we ain't at the table, nigga. Y'all don't see us at the table, nigga. Hell no, we ain't at the table. They gonna be looking around. What black people at? You get some black people in there, they be foreigners. They be foreigners. That's why y'all gotta understand. That's why we trying to let y'all know right now. We understand how y'all were trying to play that little crazy game. Put all these second and third generation, put them in little deals, and just because they black, make it seem like, oh no, nigga. That's why we saying, nigga, where you from? Just like my boy Tariq taught me. Where you from? Where your family from? Do you have any foreigners in your fucking family lineage? Where they come from? Oh, okay. All right. Are they all from the United States? All right. So you me. Thank you. How you doing, brother? Give him a hug. When these motherfuckers start talking about, oh, my mother's from such and such. I ain't gonna say no names because I ain't finna get fucked up around these old internet games. But yeah, man, they different. See, this is another thing I need to say too, man. Y'all problem is y'all came over here and tried to stand and make it seem like y'all was the shit. We don't need to stand with them. Y'all came over like we don't need to stand with y'all. We better than y'all. Y'all should have came over and aligned yourself with us. If y'all want to go off this skin shit, if you want to use all the skin shit, you want to use all of the skin things when you come over here. You want to get the benefits of the skin things, but then you want to say, "Oh, that's not me. I'm not that." All right. For better or for worse, we cutting this shit off, nigga. Now we stand on our own square. So it ain't like, oh no, we all ain't the same. No, we ain't. I'm riding first for America. That's what I'm standing on. America. I ain't got no other flags in here but a FBA flag, which is Foundational Black American flag, and I have the fucking United States flag right here. Cause I'm a fucking American. You better be fucking believe it. Crenshaw on mine for my West Coast bros. I'm an American, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. Motherfucker, you gotta really look at it like this. No one never really embraced us. They just used us. That's it, man. They never embraced us. Okay, I'm not gonna say all of them because a lot of them do though. But you know what, people? For the ones that do, I'm sorry. I gotta sound like it ain't no African people that rock with us. It ain't no Jamaican people that rock with us. It ain't no overseas people rock with us because I know it's a lot of y'all. But y'all acting like y'all are not loud. You know who's loud? The tethers. The tethers are loud, so it make it seem like. So if I do say all or all of them, I don't mean all of them. I mean it the ones who. And why wouldn't you want? Like I don't look over there in Africa. That's a lie. I have done that. I don't even want to say what I'm about to say. I have done it, but I bigged it up though. I was like, damn, they got the French niggas up out of there. What that Picasso? I don't know how to say his name. I don't want to mess it up. Make it seem like I'm disrespecting when I'm not. Because he over there handling, he's standing on business. He ain't running from Africa. That man stayed over there. He like 30 something. That man like 30 something. He took over. Got all the white people about his shit saying, we want New Deal. I respect him. I respect him. And I wish I knew how to pronounce his name. But yeah, that boy standing on business. He ain't leave his area. He trying to make it better. New Deal, nigga. Nah, the old people, they fucked up the deal. They didn't know nothing no better. I'm here now. I got them to fuck up out of here. And we want new deals on everything. If you come up in here, nigga, it's going to be war. And he's been standing on it. Even though he hiding with the Russians and all that shit down. But still, though, I give him that. I give him that. But all these motherfuckers want to come over here and be talking shit about us, talking about, you can't get reparations or you don't need to have reparations. You saying that because you won't get it. You trying to get reparations over there. You really trying to get reparations over there right now. And what if I was to say that the dude I was just talking about who over there handling business, what if I was to say, why is he doing that? These people made the deals. They need to honor the deal that they set with China and with Russia for 20, 30, 100 years, taking their minerals and taking their resources. I could be on that tip. I'm not on that tip. I'm not saying that. I'm basically saying, look, man, that's you hey man, handle your business, bro. Stand on your business, man. If that's your square over there, do the same thing anybody else that own that square would do. That's the different color to you. You don't give a fuck about what these old niggas, these old ass niggas and signed off all our resources. I don't even know the fuck them niggas is dead now, nigga. I don't give a fuck about that paper. We murdered him to get him a. I mean, not murder. I don't mean to say that, but we got rid of that guy that was selling off our resources for himself to get paid. Yeah, we got rid of him. So this deal, no honor, nigga. We don't honor that. That's nothing. You gave him pennies for that, and you breaking our resources, and then you're making our country out. Fuck, I understand that. What I don't understand is people fleeing and for the fleeing to the people who were fucking them over, right? In their real home, come to go to the oppressor's home, and then look down on people. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let me tell you something about a foundation of Black Americans. We ain't never ran. We still here, nigga. Live in effect. Breathing down you niggas' neck. We ain't flee. You ain't get a lot of us that. Damn, that's a lot again, Jake. Some of us did kind of flee. We flee to Mexico. Some of us went to goddamn Canada. Some of us got the fuck up out here though. At that time when it was getting kind of hard. But majority of us didn't, nigga. This nigga just be contradicting himself.
Give away resources to other groups indefinitely. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't even disagree with the idea of reparations in theory. I think that reparations is a totally defensible idea. I'm more so speaking to the mindset of why people don't go up there and say it. It's because if they do, they're not going to get elected.
Okay,
There's no way.
but
Like,
okay,
do you think you understand what that means
so
when you
no,
ask for
I'm trying.
reparations? Do you know what that implies?
But why is it device? Why are we divisive? You said we're divisive.
Well, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if I'm
All that
divisive
projection.
because I want my lineage to get what they're supposed to get. I want them to get tangibles because they need help too. How is that divisive?
Well, because what you're basically doing is you're making people pay for the sins of their father. You're making people who
Your
had nothing
dad
to.
is over here getting paid from the
Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. I
right,
agree.
right. So if
I agree. That's true.
your daddy can come over from El Salvador and get
Yes.
resources and benefits, miss me with
Well, he's an American citizen. He worked for it, so it's not the same. Don't frame it like that.
no, he
We've paid into the system too.
Man, shut the fuck up, bro. This should be pissing me. This is like, this is this puts a fire under you when you hear this shit, bro. Like, and he coming on some black people stuff, talking about don't disrespect his people, bro. You on here disrespecting us, bro. You in our area, bro. We ain't in on Honduras people area talking shit, talking about respect me. We don't even go over there. Like, it's crazy, bro. This shit is be crazy. Man, this is not a real world. This world is not real, bro. Up is down, y'all. Left is right. And love is hate, and hate is love. Nothing is nothing, man. It is what it is. You can't even try to decipher this shit, bro. Like, it's just so you can, but you can't when you really trying to dig deep into it, because this is like, man, it's like, what is it about? Foundation of Black Americans. It makes everybody lose their shit, man. Like, and you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I'm saying Foundation of Black Americans. I am one, but I don't know what Mexicans go through. I don't, to be honest. And I'm sitting there acting like it's just only me, which I know it ain't only me, because the white supremacists, they fight everybody, and they fight them one on one every time. We need to jump them motherfuckers, bro. We need to jump their ass, to be honest with you. But we can't jump nothing if we ain't strong our own. So everybody to go to their corners, build, keep on living, keep on making babies, keep on making money, stay in the medical field, stay in the financial field, stay in the building architecture field, and just keep on moving, man. Just keep on moving. That's all we gotta do. Keep on moving. We're moving at a rapid speed. People act like we ain't moving at rapid speed. You gotta think, man. It wasn't that long ago. Motherfuckers were slaves, man. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Motherfuckers out here slaves, man. Niggas not, but they deepest thing was not letting a nigga read, man. You feel me? That's crazy. Little couple years ago, nigga, that shit got changed real quick. With the thanks of whites, too, though. You know what I'm saying? That shit didn't happen without no white people. That's a fact. That's a big fact. But I think that shit was quick, bro. I think that shit is quick. I think it was quick. Because you got to think, man. Look over 100 years? Motherfuckers were slaves. When was they slave? I don't even want to go down that slavery shit. But yeah, man. I think I went off on a tangent, man. I'm going to stop it right here. I don't want to listen to this nigga no more. This nigga kind of pissing me off.
Dude, we've
No,
been, and
no,
I'm also half FBA, so you can't use that argument.
no, 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 no.
How you
Your
half
people, your
BA?
dad came over here and got a bunch of unearned benefits.
No, he didn't. He's an American citizen. He's a legal citizen. He was
Yeah,
born here,
ba-
and his mom was a citizen.
he got
They got legal.
he got unearned benefits. When your dad came here, he pulled up a plate and started eating. He didn't bring anything to this country.
Nothing.
He came over here and pulled
Why
up a
am I with this
plate
hateful shit?
and
No,
got
I'm
a
not. That's
bunch of
not me, y'all.
benefits from being an immigrant,
That's
sir.
me, y'all. That's me.
We didn't owe him nothing, but he got stuff. Immigrants get stuff. I don't want to hear all of that. If foundational Black Americans get something, you're paying for the sins of the father and all of that bullshit. No, we're the only people who are really owed something. We're really owed. Your father coming over from El Salvador is not owed anything. So
That's a fact.
that's not divisive. Why saying that I don't want to keep giving my resources to non-citizens. I want to make sure foundational Black Americans are good. How is that divisive? Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you. That's my bad.
It's all right. It's all
Uh,
right. It's all right. But go ahead.
I want to be respectful.
Right.
Nigga said,
Well,
nigga tell me I want to be respect. You're not respectful because you talking, my nigga. That's how you're not being respectful. Being respectful will be shutting the fuck up and getting in the back and just listening. We don't want to hear. I want to hear Tariq tell me some more information on how to better the community, on how to get our reparations, how to move out here. I don't want to be talking about what the fuck you got going on, bro. I don't give a fuck about what you got going on. I come to this man Tariq to listen about foundation of Black people, bro. I didn't come here for him to be lip wrestling with you about your fucking feelings, and you're a fucking immigrant, bro. That sounded kind of fucked up. I didn't mean it like that though. It just felt good saying it like that, but I didn't mean it like that. Like I don't really got nothing against immigrants, but I come to listen to Tariq talk about me and my people, not defend against people that don't even fucking really matter in this situation. Him talking to us about us has nothing to do with people from El Salvador or foreign people coming to here and becoming Americans. You have an allegiance to someone else. We don't have allegiance to no one else but here. That's it. You got allegiance to El Salvador. You got allegiance to Mexico. You got allegiance to Dominican Republic. You got all these allegiances to these other places. We don't throw up other people's flags. We ain't trying to go nowhere. We throw up the American flag. We live the American dream. That's us. But y'all niggas crazy, bro. Crazy work. I just don't understand it. It kind of make me feel like, damn, maybe we are really the shit like we say we are the shit, because motherfuckers out here, they can't like these these other minorities, they desperately need. Then they say that we ain't right because we ain't helping them. Do we ever do that to y'all? We never do that to y'all. We never do none of the stuff that happened to us, bro. Now I'm getting noticed, bro. We didn't go out our way to start dissing black Brits. They went out their way to start dissing us. The whole thing with the Africans over there, they want to tell us we don't know where we come from, and then say y'all started it. Y'all always hated us. What the fuck? You just come out there trying to tell us we don't know where we come from, but we hate y'all. We don't even know nothing about y'all. Y'all know Americans don't know nothing about the rest of the world. Why we care about the rest of the world if the rest of the world is paying attention to us? We just got to keep giving y'all what y'all need, giving y'all what y'all want, steady producing, because this is a company over here. Keep the world entertained, keep it moving. Why would we worry about something that does not entertain us? You know damn well that shit don't entertain us. Y'all niggas movies be. Now I'm just getting on some hateful shit. Now I'm not a hateful person. That sounded kind of crazy, but that's just true, man. Americans will not pay attention to the rest of the world. If whoever and wherever in the rest of the world start talking shit, that's when we, oh, you, and then we just look up stats about your town. Oh, you living like that? Huh. How dare you? You know what I mean? Like, how you gonna try to talk about us when you really want to be over here with us? You would love to be over here. So, oh no, I love it here. Nigga, please. Nigga, please. You know goddamn well if you can come over here first, you'll be on the first one at the stop, nigga. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm playing, man. Come on, man. Should I keep going? Fuck it, I'm gonna keep going.
A couple things. I'll say this. What was your question again? Sorry, there was a lot there. What was the last question?
Yeah, my thing is if your dad and other immigrants can come over here and get a whole bunch of plethora of resources, why is that okay? But when we want it, it's paying for the sins of the father and all of that. When we want resources that we earn on our own homeland, why is that a problem?
Okay, so I'll address the part about the sins of the father thing, and then I'll address how my dad is involved in that second. So the first one I'll say is like you have to think about it from the broader perspective. If a bunch of people feel like they have to pay taxes into a system that is basically repatriating their taxpayer money to reparations, that's not like a politically viable thing. Like like that's just not gonna.
Say, man, didn't we just give the Ukraine a shitload of our taxpayers' money? What do we got to do with them in Russia? Probably a lot. You don't know what they be doing behind these secret deals. You don't know these proxy wars. You don't know why. We don't know why. I really don't know why. So, yeah, I know that y'all can probably tell me up, but I don't know why. But, you know, we gave them a lot of fucking money. We gave the Red Indians, we gave them land and casinos and reservations and shit. Like, we gave them that. We gave them something. What the Jews got? The Jews got America. Everybody got something. You gave when you dropped the bomb on the Asian people. I forgot which one it is because I don't want to mess it up. But I know we dropped something on them. They got some. They got something for that. I don't fucking know. I want to know now. Yeah, I just think I heard that shit. Did America drop bombs on somebody from the Asian area?
Yes, the United States has dropped bombs on countries in Asia in the past. Most notably, during World War
World War
II,
Two.
the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in
Hiroshima, I
August
remember that.
1945. Additionally, the U.S. conducted extensive bombing campaigns during the Korean War 1950 to 1953 in
What the
North
fuck?
Korea, and during the Vietnam War
Vietnam War.
1955 to
God damn.
1975 in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia.
God,
These military actions are significant events in 20th century history.
God damn. God damn. I forgot what I was finna say, y'all, man.
Poll well, that's not going to work. You're going to have a lot of people who protest that. I just don't, and I'm not even saying the idea of it is bad. I think it's a perfectly justifiable and defensible idea in theory, like reparations. That makes perfect sense to me. I just don't see it working pragmatically. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a successful thing. I think if black people in this country want power, you
Listen, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. If you're not getting reparations, why are you thinking about it? And think about how it's not a good idea or it is a good deal. Why do you even fucking care if you ain't gonna get it even if it happen? So you wouldn't be an advocate for it because why? You're not getting it. You have a strong vocal point on it because why? That would really separate Foundation of Black Americans from y'all. It would be a really clear split. It would be you could really see the difference. It ain't no more hiding under her and doing all. It ain't no none of that because you will continue being in YOLO deals, and we will get what's owed to us, and we will be up here. That's just a fact. So no, that's why you very strong. You know, we don't need the black people to the foundation of Black Americans to get what's owed to them. We don't want that. Hell no, hell no, because we can still blend in with their ass. You know what I mean? And take all their resources.
need to build a coalition. You need to get smart, talented people to come together, and then you need to lobby Congress. But you can't just ask for reparations.
Listen, why you gonna go to Honduras and tell them niggas what they need to be doing? Why you telling us? We ain't even your people, bro. We not even your people. Why are you talking to us? Why are you telling us what we need to do? Go tell your people what they need to do. How about that? How about you keep your information? You're smart. That was a very smart, educated guess. Go tell your people. We came here to listen to Tariq, not you. We, we don't think you're him. You're not him, bro. We will not be using your services from this point on. Thank you. Mm-hmm. We good, bro. Don't tell your people what they need to be doing. Why are you in our area trying to tell us what to do and what we should be doing? Shouldn't you be telling your own people that? Why are you so invested in our shit?
That's the first thing I'd say.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say with that, I completely disagree.
Yeah, yeah.
I disagree with that. Because yeah, we're owed that. And we're not going to sit up here and let this debt linger indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
Built this country from the ground up. That money and the resources was passed down generationally, locked in generationally, and the deprivation of those resources has been locked in. And all of these other groups have been prioritized over us, and those days are over.
Over with.
And the thing is, and the problem is, there's an ungratefulness there. We sit up here prioritizing these other groups as foundational Black Americans, helping them out. And then when we say, you know what, it's time for us to look out for ourselves, we get gentlemen like you who
Mm-hmm.
call in and say that I'm divisive because I want to look out for my lineage. I think that's very disrespectful. And that's probably the reason why the pendulum is swinging and people are very indifferent to all of this deportation that's going on. Because what you did, that type of disrespect, that's disrespectful not just to me, not just to people in here, but to our lineage. And you can say, well, yeah, you got somebody who might have been a slave somewhere, but you have dual allegiance. And that's a different vibe. You still have a different energy
I just said
from a
all
full
this.
foundational Black American because you still have somewhat of an exploitive mindset. So one part of the lineage wants to exploit the other part. So there's a dichotomy and a dual allegiance there that a lot of us full foundational Black Americans don't have.
Don't have.
I'm 10 toes down for the lineage because I'm FBA on both sides of my family. I ain't got no immigrants in my family. So everything is blood, sweat, and tears in this
Me neither.
soil.
I got
That's
none.
not divisive looking out for my people and my lineage. Your people look out for their people and their immigrant lineage. So we are not going to take the same kind of criticism that's unfounded. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, you threw a lot of accusations at me right there,
There's
so
no
I'm trying to
accusations, those
process all that. You're
facts.
saying I have a dual allegiance, but like I'm at least a third generation on my dad's side, and I'm like at least 8 or 9 generations on my mom's side. So there's no dual allegiance. I'm in favor of mass deportations as well. I think everybody who decided to sit out these ICE protests, I was completely on board with that. There's no reason why we should be out there supporting that. I think this country is for Americans. I think if you came here illegally, you should be sent back
So
home.
why are you
And
in
I
our
think we should
area
have an
then, bro?
immigration
You're not
moratorium. So I'm
oh, this
with you
shit
on that.
been
We should
making me
prioritize Americans.
angry, bro.
And black people have got the short end of the stick for the past
So why you
400 years. I'm with you.
so black people getting the short end of the stick, but then we gonna get you over here trying to tell us how we should be doing the shit and we shouldn't be asking for shit. We being divisive. Look at you. You wishy washy, bro. That means you fake. That means you not real. That means you on some you saying you been losing the hell out this argument. He making up very key points. And you saying you like, damn, that, that shit do sound right. I need to shut the fuck up. Let me go and try to make amends. No, I ain't no making amends, man. You came on here being disrespectful, bro. Pointing a finger at us, but you ain't got the a finger pointed at nobody else. Nobody else. You only got the finger pointed at us. And then you willing to go in our areas and then tell us about it. That's crazy. That's disrespectful, bro. That shit fucking disrespectful, man.
You on that too. And like I said, the idea of reparations is fine. I was more so when I
Nigga
said
say
about
it's
you being
fine.
divisive, I just
Look at the entitlement. It's fine. Like, who the fuck is you? You ain't even gonna give it to us. You can't. You don't even have a foot in the race, boy. My boy. Talk about it's fine. Who? This shit is making me mad, bro. Like, I think it's so. When you ask for reparation, oh, that's fine. That's who gives a fuck about your opinion, nigga? nigga, 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 you entertainment right now, nigga. We only fuck with you because of how stupid you sound. And we gonna just keep on picking at you and making you look even more stupider. That's why you even fucking on the deals for entertainment, nigga.
I think all the unnecessary like
Who
slander on Africans and
cares?
Caribbeans, it just is distasteful. That's all I'm saying.
Who cares what you think about what we doing? Because you not us, bro. Kendrick Lamar, run it. Man, I wish I had the license to play that motherfucker right now. I'll play it right now. You, this motherfucker.
No, slander how? How do I slander them? Because if y'all come in trying to roast, I'm going to roast your ass back. So let's stop with that.
I'm
No. Stop with that. Look, these tethers, they come in trying to roast and they're not funny and they're not really witty. And they do all of this little slick talking behind the scenes and they caca and kiki. And then they come in here and trying to roast with us. And then they lose. They get into roast battles and then they lose. That's what
That's what I just
happens.
said. I just
Don't turn
said
around and
that.
talk about you being slandered and all that. If you try to roast, we're the masters of that and we're going to light your ass up. And that's a part of our culture. Roasting is a part of foundational Black American culture. We roast each other. You understand? So we
oh, I know.
we'll roast each other.
I know.
You ain't
Damn,
Yeah.
fuck you to
roasted.
my I
No,
know.
you ain't
Man,
above.
shut up, nigga.
Everybody's gonna get hit,
Shut the
especially if you
fuck up.
come in arrogant and
Yeah.
and your forehead
Talking
looking
about, yeah,
janky and your
you.
hairline
We
is
talking
janky,
about
and you
you,
giving us
doo
Hmm.
doo head.
I've gotten it. I've gotten the work before. I understand how it goes.
is. So yeah,
You don't
it up.
understand shit how
Well,
shit
Yeah.
go.
look, I guess it's just there's a bit of an irony in that,
How
and
so?
a little, and
Man,
the reason I say that is because look, I know you're big on this whole black people or black Americans are indigenous to this country,
Yeah.
but if you look at the DNA and genetic testing, that's not necessarily the case. I think what
look at
like
him.
80
Look,
or
look,
90.
look. Another accusation on some hateful shit towards black people out the blue. You see how they go out the blue? He got killed on this one, and now he finna bring up this one. Oh, you really not indigenous to here anyway. So I don't know why y'all think about that. I thought you was supposed to be with us. I thought you was us. So you trying to say because all the nice words don't mean shit. They're saying, "Oh yeah, I agree with that," and I agree with you. Don't agree with nothing, bro. You just here to cause confusion and try to stop us from learning from the great Tariq Nasheed. That's all I gotta say, man. You just hating, bro. You never stick with a point and then finish it, the whole argument. You see, you start losing, and then you just break up another what you call it, a stereotype that you want to use without even answering, and then try to. And it's smooth how you doing it. It's that's what makes me think you're not black, bro. You're not black, bro. You're not black. You're not going through all these swindles and shit if you with us. You totally against us, but you're trying to come in with the nice words and trying to be polite and all. Thank you for nah, nigga. I can read through that shit like it ain't nothing, man. That shit lame as hell, bro. You're lame for that, bro. This shit be making me iggy, bro. Keep on asking yourself, bro, why are you in here, bro? Like, who let this nigga in, bro? Like, why you in here, bro? You going on point on how you say you like black people and you with black people, but every point you bring up is against black people, bro. Foundational black Americans at that. Every point that you've been bringing up, bro, has been something that's a stereotype, a negative stereotype towards us. Every time, bro. Every time. You don't see it. Once it get hot and Tariq be on your ass, you just jump to another topic. You don't even stay there and try to defend us or say you was wrong. You just jump to the next topic of something you don't like about black people. Why do you call up here and to tell us, oh, you really not indigenous to this? Why do you need to tell us that in our own area, bro? You don't think that's weird, bro? Like, why do you think we need to hear that from you right now? In this setting, why do you think you want to tell financial black Americans that they're not indigenous to this? Like, if you ain't on something totally opposite, why would you want to tell us that though? Like, and why you want to come in our area, our private area, and do it? Like, when we congregate with ourselves, we ain't saying this is an open thing for everybody. Hey, this is just us, people who know who know. But you here and vocal about all the things that this ain't even a place for it, bro.
90%. And just let me, and you can respond in a second. I just want to say this real quick.
And you can respond,
Sorry,
nigga.
just
You on
last
his
time I
show,
checked,
nigga. Shut
about
up.
80 or 90% of Black Americans' DNA is from Africa, and the other like 10, 20% is like European. So this notion that like Black Americans were like somehow indigenous to America is just not true. I just think that's something that's important to know.
Okay. So were all of the
I just think
people
that's something
who
important to
Go
know.
ahead, sorry.
okay,
Man,
so
fuck
there's a
you,
great book by a colleague of mine, a brother
Tariq.
named
I don't know
Chase
how you do
McGee,
it, bro.
called The 19
So I
White
been
Men
cussed this
Who
nigga out.
Said That Black People Were Native to the US. And he has so many documents, so much proof of all of these European explorers, Balboa, Pizarro, Columbus, all of these people, Nunez, that they would come here, all the indigenous people, all of them, these people look like the same folks in Ethiopia or Africa, or they look Moorish. These are terms for black. They just kept saying it over and over again. Archaeological science digs shown that there were bones here dug up and excavated that were sub-Saharan African.
Really?
There were,
Sub-Saharan African?
yes. Luzia woman down in Brazil, one of the oldest fossils of a human in the Americas. They did a reconstruction. It's a damn black woman. You can look it up, sir. There were black people on this land for thousands of years. Not only that, black people were here before the red Siberian looking Asianoid Native Americans. We were here before them,
Really?
before they walked.
Well, Tariq, sorry, go ahead.
Again, I can just throw all types of receipts. Go, you can look up paintings of the Ohlone Indians in California. There's paintings of them in the 1800s. They look like African tribes. There were black people on the land. Black people were all over the world. Why wouldn't they? Do you? I'm asking you. Do you think the people in Samoa, dark skin, afros, all in the Pacific Islands, you think black looking people didn't reach North America?
Well, it's infinitely more complicated than that when you look at genetics. So I won't deny it's definitely possible that there could have been people from Africa who uh, found a way to get to the North American continent. But there's two problems with that. The first one is that there might be a small percentage and probably an inconsequential and negligible marginal percentage of
Man, shut the fuck
FBAs
up,
who do
dude. I
have
don't like this nigga, bro.
indigenous
This nigga piss me off,
DNA,
bro.
but it's a very small percentage. Like I said, most of them genetically have African, predominantly African, and then some
How you know
European
what?
DNA. That's number one.
Listen, how you know what predominantly black people got in they did, bro? You tested everybody. You know what everybody is. You know everybody origin story, huh? Huh? You know what majority of everybody is from, right? How the fuck you know, nigga? Only motherfucker. You don't make enough money, nigga, to know, nigga. Fuck out of here. You a nobody, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. And Honduras, nigga. Your dad is Honduras, nigga. Shut up, man. Stop trying to tell us what you don't even know. You don't even know what four presidents that was from Honduras, nigga. Shut the fuck up, bro. You don't know no celebrities from Honduras. You don't know no scientists from Honduras. You don't know nothing from about no fucking Honduras. So how you fuck you gonna tell us about us, nigga? The fuck out of here, nigga. It's a fucking mystery, nigga. The fuck out of here, nigga. Talking about, man. This nigga, boy, man, shut up, nigga.
One. But the second thing I'll say is that it's possible because genetics is weird like that. It's possible for like Chinese or European people to have more genetic flow and admixture with, say, people who, what's the name of this tribe? What's the name of the tribe? It's an Asian tribe, and they're off the coast of Australia, and it's a very small tribe, but they
Bro, why you know so much shit about everybody? Tell us about Honduras people, bro. Tell us about your lineage, your people. You could tell us. You could tell us when goddamn it we turned from apes to goddamn humans. You could tell us all of that, but you can't have shit about your own self. So, man, get your man, boy. If you don't get your man, these niggas, boy, these tethers, boy.
um, they they emigrated out of Africa. Well, okay, so when humans left
See,
Africa about
told you,
70,000 years ago to
now,
go
now,
to
now he know the
Europe and
human
Asia,
story now. Look at this
they
nigga, bro.
immigrated out. They went to various parts of the Asian and European continent, and then they moved to all these small islands. So even though these people in these Aboriginals who live off the coast of Australia have more phenotypical similarities to like a sub-Saharan African, they actually have more genetic gene flow and admixture with Chinese and with Asians and with Europeans because there's less genetic drift. Because when people left Africa and then went to the Asian continent, after that, they went to these Aboriginal islands. So even though they look completely different, they actually have more genetic similarity. And so it could be the same situation with the people that you're referring to, where,
Yeah, but let me
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
here's the thing. Yeah, that's really trying to pinch a straw because these people phenotypically look black. If down
Yes.
Fiji, these people, they'll tell you their origin, they came from Africa thousands of years ago. They'll tell you that. But they are basically Polynesian to a certain degree. They had an ethnogenesis. That's called an ethnogenesis. Look, foundational Black Americans, we have a lot of European admixture. You understand?
Hmm.
We have Aboriginal admixture. We do have African DNA as well, but we are a new ethnic group. We had a complete ethnogenesis. And the whole notion that we would not have Aboriginal lineage here, and we've been here longer than any damn body, that's
That's
impossible. That's
crazy. That's
ridiculous.
crazy,
Of
man.
course we do. Um, those black Aboriginal people, what happened to them? They didn't just all disappear. You know, they were absorbed and they were just reclassified as Negro in many cases. Some were blended in with the $5 Indian whites, but we're still here. So to say that we don't have any Aboriginal DNA, that would historically and scientifically be incorrect. It would be impossible for us to not have it because we've been here too.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I just
Shut up,
from
man.
the
Shut
genetic
up.
testing that I'm aware of, this is the majority of Black Americans.
You
I,
don't
I
know
think
what the
that's,
majority
yeah,
of black
the
America.
majority of Black Americans
You don't know shit.
predominantly have DNA. I'm talking like upwards of 80-90% from Africa. Then the other 10-20% is European with
No,
like
it
This
ain't.
some indigenous mixed
the
in.
D
That's my
the
understanding.
DNA tests don't list tribes. They don't list Aboriginal tribes. They don't have markers for them.
Dummy.
There's no marker for a Creek Indian. Genetically, there's no such thing as a Creek Indian genetically. Because a Creek Indian was somebody, the Europeans saw a bunch of Native Americans living by a creek and said, hey, you guys are Creek Indians. So genetically, there's something else. But they just got these titles. Most of these Native American tribes, they got their titles and names from Europeans or their experiences with Europeans. There's no such thing as a genetic Seminole. You understand? A black person, genetically, they can be African, they'll have some African genetics, but the thing is, that doesn't mean that they were not a Seminole because the Seminoles were black for the most part. And Seminole was just an amalgamation of the word Cimarron, which meant runaway. You understand? So there are no markers for a lot of the Aboriginal tribes that were here. Everybody just kind of got thrown in one big category. And with those DNA tests, they pretty much put everybody in three places. You go to any DNA test, they're going to put you in Asia, Africa, and Europe. All of them. You understand? So those things are so damn vague that that can't really accurately pinpoint what tribe is what. If you go to Fiji and do a DNA test on them, that shit is going to show some African DNA. You understand? Or African, Asian, possibly some European. So going by that, that's not a correct standard to go by when you just end on those DNA tests because they're markers that they just don't have. Um, a lot of the Aboriginal tribes, they were not federally recognized. So it's a whole bunch of things. But go ahead.
Well, so okay, so by that, okay, I'm curious. By that logic, what would you classify? What race would you classify Black Americans as then, if they're if African, European,
FBA,
and as
nigga.
you said, what is it? Asian are the three predominant racial groups.
Hmm.
Like, what would you would classify Black people as Negroid, right?
Yeah,
You classify them as Negroid. Yeah. So
black.
yeah. So, but you're saying they're like a unique ethnic group entirely? Black people, Black Americans?
No, 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 we're not from outer space. No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we're not from outer space, dude. I'm talking because people try to make it more complicated than what it is. We're just like what a Jamaican is. In Jamaica, Jamaicans are their own ethnic group. If you do a DNA test on a Jamaican, it's going to go to Africa and Europe, right?
Probably Africa, I would assume. If you'd like sample the Jamaican guy's
I
DNA,
just
it would probably
I said it's going to go to Africa and Europe. That's what.
not Europe. I doubt Europe.
No, but
I doubt it.
they mixed in with the Irish. Yeah, they did. They were big. That's what the Jamaican accent is, an Irish accent. Irish real heavy. So yeah, it'll be some Irish stuff clicking in. But they're their own ethnic group based on their experiences on that island. Haitians are their own ethnic group. They're going to be traced back to Africa and France if you do some DNA testing on some Haitians.
Okay, but okay, let's just be real here for a second. If you take a random Jamaican guy's DNA and you sample it, it's gonna be like pretty similar to like a sub-Saharan African. It's not gonna give you like an Irish guy's like the average Irish guy's DNA. They're gonna have different alleles. They're gonna have a different genotype, like completely different. So I would say it would probably map back to sub-Saharan Africa almost 100%.
Yeah,
No.
I didn't deny that. You say now, yes, it's going to go to Africa, but it will probably have Irish in there too. You think some of them Irish weren't getting down with the Jamaicans and some of those slave owners weren't raping the women over there? Huh?
They probably were. Almost certainly they were.
Yeah, 100%. There's one guy named
Hmm.
Thistlewood who did a whole diary of his rapes. He just raped hundreds of women and made a diary about it called Thomas Thistlewood. He was a big slave owner over there in Jamaica. So yeah, you're gonna have some European DNA there, just like us. We as foundational Black Americans, we will have some European DNA. We're still foundational Black Americans. We're still our own ethnic group. You understand?
Okay, and that's another thing I wanted to ask you. So the about foundational Black Americans. So um,
Why is he
a lot
explaining
of
this shit to
people,
him,
well,
bro?
you specifically, you say things along the lines of like Black people built this country.
Hmm.
When you say that, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, that means we literally built the initial infrastructure and the culture and the economy was built off the shoulders of foundational Black Americans. That's either true or it's not.
That's like 80 to 90% true. There's a little bit
Shut
that's
up,
I
bro.
contend with there.
Hmm.
I would say Black people were like the biggest source of labor. They were undeniably the labor supply. Because to my understanding, Native Americans didn't have the capacity to withstand, slavery and harsh
The
conditions.
red one,
Um,
red ones,
yes, them specifically. Um,
but they did.
but
But slow down, because if you look at some of the documents and some of the laws and some of the slave charters or whatever, they absolutely had Indians enslaved. They would say it. They would have some of the laws. You can enslave Negroes, Indians, Moors, and they would have this person was sold to that person. That person was a Negro. That person was an Indian. So they were very specific. So there were quote Indians being sold, but it was the Black Aboriginal ones, not the red ones. But go ahead. The red ones cut deals with the Europeans. There was a law 1700s where the Creek Indians made some kind of deal where they would kind of they
it was the five civilized tribes that struck deals with them, I think.
yeah, but this one particular law, the Creeks would some of the Creeks would work as slave catchers if they abide by this little treaty that they had with the U.S. government. They'll be protected to a certain degree as long as they turn in Black people who are runaways, so or Black indigenous people. So, but go ahead about your
Well,
building of the United States
yeah,
we're talking about.
yeah. So I would say, Black people undeniably were the major labor supply, but I think it's a bit disingenuous to say that Black people built this country. I think that's more complicated than that.
Explain how so.
I would say overwhelmingly, this country in many regards was kind of an offshoot of, Europe and European civilization. And Black people have their own unique contributions to this country, undeniably. But I think like the majority, the majority of its architecture and its contour.
I thought he was black, y'all. He ain't sounding too black now, is he, y'all? He ain't sounding like he's a part of he don't sound like it no more, do he? Because he's always going against it. On every once he start getting killed right here, he jumped to a whole other topic about some old shit about black people that he don't like, and try to say, "Oh, you're not this. Oh, but you thought you was this, but you're not that. You're not that. You're not that. Oh, you thought you was." There's no Aboriginal in your blood. It's only African, and maybe 20% of Yeah, shut the fuck up, bro. What's in your blood, nigga? What is you? You went from being half FBA to a third FBA to a fourth FBA. I've heard throughout the whole deal. You lose more and more. The more you talk, you lose blackness. And now you're not fucking black, bro.
Wars come from Europe. I think that's a fair statement to make.
Really?
Yeah, I would say so. Just if you look at the ideals of this country, the governmental body of this country with a democracy.
He about to kill him with before black people got here. How was this country then? What did it look like? Was they producing anything? Did they have any money? Did they have any type of economy? Did they have culture? They had nothing without us. And I guarantee that's what Tariq's about to say. Y'all failed so many times until y'all went and got some slaves.
These things were undeniably created, or at least
I
popularized
hope I'm
in
right.
European
I know I'm right.
societies.
That's absolutely false.
False. I told you.
That's
Democracy? I thought democracy was Greece.
no. No, well, they had democracy in Kemet.
People are saying I'm not half FBA. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I
There was
say. I told
democracy
you.
in
See?
Kemet. They had democracy there, but and also Greek society that broke down thousands of years ago. Europe, it fell into all types of chaos and debauchery. Um, didn't really have anything going on popping like that. Really before the slave trade got off the ground like that.
Really?
Yeah, Europe was a shithole.
Are you
Really,
sure about that?
I'm positive. What was going on in Europe
I mean,
in hundreds?
in the
The
third.
only I'm talking about the 1500. We're talking about slavery. We're talking about slavery. We're talking about the building of the United States. And the United States didn't start getting it popping and really getting on its legs till 1619. That's why they bring up 1619. Um, that was when slavery really got solidified here with black people. That's when it got really solidified. There was slavery before with the Spanish and all of that. It was a little different, and there were black people here documented who came with the Spanish, who came with other people, and there were Europeans who tried to start colonies here on their own, and all failed. So this is why I'm saying you show me where they were doing all this stuff without foundational black Americans. You show me what they built over here before 1619.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna make sure I'm being specific with my language. And by the way, I got a bunch of people flooding me right now, mentioning me, saying that. Well, let me not get distracted with that.
You a
Um,
whole ass nigga. That's
I
why.
I don't disagree. Like I said, and by the way, I don't want to offend or disrespect anyone. I'm
No,
just,
That's how you've been
you
doing
know,
it,
I'm
disrespecting
because yeah, the
everyone.
apologizing now that don't mean nothing. Just we're
I know it
talking.
don't
Just
mean
go
nothing.
ahead. Just
yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I agree with you. Like 60, obviously, I don't want to deny that Black people had a major contribution to this country, and anybody who says otherwise is just
You've been
racist
saying
or
it.
dishonest.
You've been saying
But
it.
like, I guess
Your words exactly was you didn't build America. You you would just labor for America, but you didn't build America. That was your words. Now you're trying to say anybody who said that it was you said it, dummy,
it's like framing it in the
idiot.
terms of, you know, we built the country. I just that framing to me, I disagree with. Now,
okay, stop. Okay, if you stop, if you say you disagree with it, you're going to have to bring some scholarship. I'm bringing scholarship. I'm saying we built the country. I'm saying this would not be a prosperous country without us, based on the facts, based on the results. I'm saying before 1619, the Europeans failed. So you can't say that
I told you.
we contribute to the greatness and the building of this country. Who else did it? The Europeans didn't do it without us. If they could do it, why didn't they do it themselves? And Europe wasn't shit at the time. It was nothing going on in Europe. Six,
Really? No, that's not true. That's just false.
the
That's
six,
name.
sorry, the 1600s, these people were getting
Rome, Greece, the British Empire.
the British Empire. The British Empire wasn't the British Empire yet. Rome and Greece had been failed. That fell in the 6th century or the 4th century, something like that. Yeah, the
Well, they
fall
lasted thousands of years.
that was hundreds of years ago.
Rome?
Rome fell by the Vandals and the Visigoths. They sacked Rome, and then Europe fell into a damn dark age. Half the people in Europe died off.
Yeah, there was the Black Plague, but I'm saying civilizationally speaking, they were competent. They did succeed, and that we still see that. Like,
No, sir, no, you're not going to sit here and act like that whole period of the Dark Ages didn't exist. If they were so successful, why did they sit up there starving and dying all that time? And it was black people who got them out of that. It was the Moors who had to save them from that. Huh?
My brother telling brothers.
I have never heard of that before in my life.
You ain't never heard?
The Moors saved Europe.
Yes.
I have never heard of that in
Never
my life.
heard the term "thank heaven for 7-Eleven"?
No, I've never heard that. This is the
You know what
first.
that means?
Didn't they go to Spain?
Yeah. But the technology from Spain, from the Moors, that spread all over Europe. That's why Spain was the only country, that was the first country to leave Europe and go explore the world because of the technology from the Moors. All of the universities that were in Europe initially were the big universities were in Spain during the medieval times. That's where people were going to learn. That was a Moorish stronghold. There's black folks over there running.
Well, I can't. We're kind of straying away. We're kind of straying away to like
But you,
Spain.
but
I wanted to focus more so on America because I'm not too familiar with
but
European history. I'll be honest.
but you didn't know that. You didn't know that the Europeans damn near died off.
No, I knew that. I knew like half their population died during the Black Plague.
Yeah, even before that, even before the Black Plague, they had the Justinian plague,
That I wasn't familiar with.
right, which damn near wiped everybody out. And the reason why they were able to get healed, the Moors came in 711. The Justinian plague officially ended around 725. So the Moors came in with medicines, alcohol, science, technology. They literally saved Europe.
Okay, okay, hold on. I need to make sure that's accurate because I've never heard that.
Mhm. Yeah, start
I'm not
Googling.
saying it's false. Sorry. I'm
I
Yeah,
just
know it
you
ain't, but I'm
are.
just
That's
Google.
basically what you're saying.
Yeah, start Googling.
this is fascinating. I've never heard this.
Yeah, yeah, they were dying off up there, and they would
It's
have.
it's saying it's partially true.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They'll give up. They'll give it up a little bit. It's true. It's 100% true. It's not partially true. Europe wasn't shit, but in the
Well,
more,
Are the Moors considered black?
yeah,
I
no,
thought the
no,
Moors were like a mixture of
n-
uh,
more literally means black. It
I
literally
thought
meant
Moor meant Muslim.
no, because you had Christian Moors. You had um um why am I drawing a blank? You had Saint Maurice, who was a Christian. There's a statue of him in Germany. Look up Saint Maurice.
Well, look, Tariq, I'll be honest with you. I'm
No,
very
no.
skeptical of your history because your history
Okay, okay. Are you
is selective
no? Okay. Are
No,
you?
nigga,
I know
yours
you're
is
googling
selective.
right now. Google Saint Maurice of Germany.
of Germany.
Yep, Saint Maurice,
Okay.
and tell me what you see.
Yeah, he was black, obviously.
Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
He was a Christian, the Christian Moor. He was a martyr for Christianity, and they revere him in Germany. They got a bunch of statues of him in Germany. There was a lot of them. Moor means black. Whenever they talked about Moors historically, they were talking about black people. There were Moors who happened to be Muslims because Moors were practicing Islam. But yeah, the Moors were generally black people based on all the descriptions, based on all of the paintings and everything else. And it was black Moors who were saving the Europeans. And when the Spanish came over, they brought some of those black Moors with them. They brought over Moors like Juan Garrido, who was a black Moor who was down in Mexico, who was the first person to cultivate wheat down in Mexico, and he built one of the first churches down there, the Church of San Hipólito. You had bringing Moors to Canada. Um, Mateo da Costa was one of the Moors that they brought over there. These Moors, for some reason, knew the languages here. When they brought the Spanish, when the Spanish came here, they had a man named Estevanico the Moor in North America. He was really the first foreigner to trek through what we now know as North America. That's what
Okay, that I have not heard. That I have never heard
You
about
ain't
that.
heard
you
nothing,
never heard
nigga.
about Estevanico.
No, I've never heard of that person.
Google Estevanico the Moor. Google it. We're doing a learning session now. See, you're learning a lot right now. Google Estevanico the Moor, and then
Okay,
says about him. Then read out loud.
Steven Nico. Uh,
Estevanico.
oh,
Este-
Estevanico. Nico.
yeah.
Oh, there, here they
Okay.
are.
What does it say?
Um, let me see. What is he famous for? The first African to traverse Texas,
Hmm.
and in the company of three Spaniards, re-entered Texas from Mexico. Okay, so he was one of the earliest, I guess, African travelers to reach the North American continent. But are you sure he was are you sure he was African or black? Because they're saying it's Spanish. He's Spanish.
No, but he was
Oh, he was
this.
more.
He was a Moor.
He was
He was.
more.
There were a lot of Moors who were black in Spain. So a lot of folks come over and they'll say that they're Spanish, but they were really black. They
Interesting.
had a Spanish nationality. See, this is what I'm saying. Nationality and DNA and all of that is different. They'll say somebody is Spanish on paper, but the thing is, they have African DNA. They have black DNA. Just over there in the Dominican Republic, they have a whole bunch of people who were buried with Christopher Columbus. They did an excavation on them. A lot of the people with Columbus who came over with him, they had African DNA.
You gotta admit, like it's just it's hard for me not to be reflexively skeptical because I've never heard any of this.
But
But I
you
guess
reading
that's,
it.
the American education
It-
system.
Hold on. He giving you the names. You reading it and you seeing it saying exactly what he's saying, but you want to tell him that, oh, I'm skeptic of your information. No, you don't know the information, nigga. Shit. How you gonna be skeptic when you don't know? You can't be skeptic and not know nothing. So I'm kind of skeptic of your history because but everything he been giving you, you can go on Google and find it. But you skeptic of his history when he's telling you off the brain that you got to go look up immediately. No, nigga, listen to him. Trying to tell your dumb ass something.
But
well,
like,
I'm giving you names. I'm having you look it up in real time to
yeah.
verify. I'm not just whistling Dixie. I can give you the scholarship. You see.
Well, look, let's go back to this because this is the
Now,
crux of.
See? Didn't I tell you that's what he do, y'all? Once Tariq start killing them, he gonna change the total to another deal about something black that he don't like. Watch.
right now, let's go back to the building of the United States.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's not us being hyperbolic. No, we built the United States. It wasn't white daddy. All right. They
Well,
failed.
I mean,
They failed.
yeah.
They could not have done it on their own. When they tried to start a colony in Roanoke, they failed. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
When they tried, the Spanish tried to start a colony over there in South Carolina, they failed. They repeatedly, the French, the Spanish, and the English, they tried to set up something down in St. Augustine. They repeatedly failed over and over again down there to the point of cannibalism. In Virginia, in the early Jamestown colony, they were failing there. They were cannibalizing each other. They're about to die off. In 1619, when black people got introduced to those colonies and they started to have indentured servants and slavery, then shit started to pick up. They didn't do anything without black people. They didn't get any stronghold or any foothold in this country without black people. We've
Oh,
always been the secret sauce.
okay, but you gotta. Well, okay, hold on. But the vast majority of the inventors, the people who built the infrastructure, the people who developed the financial institutions, the banks, the most of the.
My nigga. He basically saying there was no money over here. Y'all was here and just living off the land. But you what as the United States as a whole, as a, I don't know what I call it, but y'all wasn't producing anything that other countries could buy to to blow up your economy. So the reason why he can say that foundational Black Americans built it is because you couldn't do it yourself. You couldn't do it yourself. All that what you talking about, y'all already had that down. But you still was only what two what six, 13 colonies, nigga. You couldn't grow, you couldn't go nowhere, you couldn't do nothing. The economy didn't, you couldn't get nothing until you brought in slaves, free labor. Come on, man. Stop trying to like downgrade the shit, my boy. You not with us, bro. You're not like us, bro. That's why it sounds foreign to you. All these people you talking about, you don't know. You don't want to know, bro. You skeptic from the jump. You mad that you learning this shit right now because you look even more crazy if you try to keep it up. You sound crazy. And then I told you he gonna try to switch it. Now he gonna try to say about who built up the infrastructure, the finances, and the banks, and all of this. What about them? We ain't talking about that, bro. We're talking about who built America, bro. Without us, all that stuff is none and void, bro. Go on with the bullshit, man. Pissing me off, bro. Seriously, bro. Not really.
Commerce and businesses and all that stuff, people who established most of the big important trade routes, like that was all, let's be real, all of that was created by whites, if we're
The
just being
first
real.
commodity on Wall Street was slaves.
Right.
Okay, fair enough.
The
But
first
beyond,
commodity on Wall Street was slaves. That's the
okay,
first
look,
commodity that was on Wall Street.
I'm not trying to deny any of that. I'm just saying the I really want to be respectful here. I don't want to disrespect you guys, but I'm just saying, like,
Shut up, because
just
you are
it's a
disrespectful.
historical record. It's a historical matter of fact that most of the institutions in this country
Name them.
were
Name them.
created almost exclusively by
Name them.
white Europeans.
No,
Like
they
Name
it's
them.
were.
just a fact.
Listen to what you got to word it right. It was exploited by whites. It was exploited by the white supremacists.
The
Yes.
financial institution?
Yeah, these institutions were created from our labor. Everything was based on exploiting our labor, our talent, and our ingenuity. Everything was all about exploiting us. So we had to be there. It's just like a music artist. It's like if you get a music manager, you get like Jerry Heller, for example. I use Jerry Heller. You familiar with who he is?
No.
Okay, Jerry Heller, he was the manager of the group NWA. Jerry Heller made a lot of
Isn't
money.
he Jewish? Isn't he Jewish?
Yeah, he's Jewish.
Oh,
So
he's
what's
Well, okay, that's a bit different.
why is
How
that
is it
different?
different? Why is it
Well,
different?
because Jewish people and white people kind of have divergent interests, divergent identities. They're not really, it's hard to classify them as being the same. They're different.
They're the
Not really.
same.
A Jewish person would not call themselves white
I don't care
at
what he
all.
called himself.
Have you not seen all the
He
have you not
move
seen all
around
the
as a
photos of
white
Jewish
person.
people
What the fuck you
flicking
talking
off
about?
the Arch of Titus in Rome? Like that's
Yeah,
not something white
Man,
people would
shut
do.
up, bro. You pissing me
and
off.
all the Jewish people who are classified as white,
I mean, don't they have a different genetic kind
Nope.
of like,
aren't they? But why do they classify themselves as white?
well, I think there's obvious reasons for that. It helps them take advantage of white supremacy.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody who's light enough to be classified as white wants that deal. They want to be a part of that exploitive deal. So that's a distinction without a difference. According to their religious background, that don't mean anything. So why would you even bring that?
Well, because it's very different. It's
Not
very different.
It's
the
not
victims
different.
of white supremacy.
Well, hold on. Because you have to understand, Jewish people are diasporic. Okay, white
That,
people come
that,
from individual countries. Sorry,
that
go
only
ahead.
matters to people in the dominant white society. That doesn't matter to victims of white supremacy. That's an and that's
True.
like yeah, that doesn't matter. Just like two slave owners fighting each.
So the same people who you don't like, you will side with them and reap their benefits. But then another group who they're fighting against, You would tell them, "Oh, we not them," but you share their benefits though. And then you always want to. Every time white people get up, they always want to blame Jews. They want to say, "Well, what about the Jews?" I can tell you that. Look, that's some whole ass shit too. They always do that. You get to start sticking them, and they say, "Well, what about the Jews?" No, nigga. See, look at the divisiveness that's it in your own little shit. You added them in with you, but as soon as you get in some hot water, you want to point the finger at them. That's crazy. Man, white supremacy is crazy. The first time you want to start blaming somebody, you blame people that you let in to make your shit bigger. If you take all of the Mexican whites out of white people, you take all of the Jewish people out of white people, they will not be the majority. If you take all these sub white shits, that it ain't got nothing to do with their culture or nothing, as long as their skin is white. That's all that matter. You think it's a lot of white people here. You heard him say earlier, talking about, well, it's majority white. It really ain't no majority white, nigga. You got a shitload of other people here that's pretending to be white that's reaping the benefits of your shit. So you think it's a lot of y'all up in here. It ain't. Look what you just did to the Jews. Them the first people you want to go out of your white group. We know that for a fact. You want the white Jews to get out of your shit. That's the first motherfuckers you don't like. And then you're gonna probably go off the Hispanic whites and try to get them up out of here. Well, really? You're already doing it now with the immigration. So, man, that shit crazy.
Each other
True.
doesn't save me. I don't care. I don't care what y'all have. That's so inconsequential to us. You understand?
I
So
do. I get you.
y'all stop that. That's a waste of time. You had Jewish slave owners, Anglo slave owners,
Hmm.
Jewish
Both
Confederates,
shared it.
Anglo Confederates. They were all working together to subjugate me. So yeah, pointing out the differences, I don't care.
I don't give a
But
fuck.
back to what I was saying, I'm using the analogy of Jerry Heller. Jerry Heller was the manager of NWA. He made a lot of money. At the time, NWA was being exploited. Ice Cube and those guys. Ice Cube left the group because he wasn't getting no money. Easy was getting exploited. Dre left because he wasn't getting any money, didn't have any money. DOC, he left, he wasn't getting the right money. So the thing is, you can't say that Jerry Heller was the mastermind of everything. No, he just exploited the talent of the foundationals and exploited it for his own gain. So do you give him credit or do you give credit to the people with the talent?
No, in that instance, I absolutely would not give Jerry Heller credit. All of the credit would obviously go to the artist. And that's the thing, like black people did create hip hop. They popularized hip hop, which is like probably one of the most lucrative
We created
cultural
all
developments
genres,
ever,
fuck boy.
or at least in modern history. That's like an indisputable fact.
Right.
And
But and going back and just going back, listen, to build a nation, because we are the foundation of this nation. And to build a nation, you have to
that's
have,
where I disagree with you. That's where I disagree when
We
you
don't
say
care
that because
about.
it's not true.
We don't
okay,
care what you think.
prove it a lie.
Well, I
Who
mean, who created the telephone? Who created the light bulb? Who created the airplane? Who created the assembly line, electric power grids, personal computers? Like
oh,
most of the important 21st century
oh,
inventions that we have today were, sorry, go ahead, I'm cutting you off.
okay, don't know. Let's break down everything you just said. Let's break down every invention you just said.
Sure.
Who invented the telephone?
Alexander Graham Bell.
Google who did the blueprints for Alexander Graham Bell.
Is it going to be a black guy?
Yeah, Lewis Latimer.
So you're saying he was the brains behind the telephone?
If he did the blueprints, if
Okay.
he did the blueprints and made the patents, so he must have been instrumental. You say the light.
Who?
Who invented the light bulb? Was Thomas Edison?
Thomas Edison.
I got it from Lewis Latimer. That's another same black.
Okay, hold on. Let me check this because
Yeah,
you're gonna
Lewis.
blow my mind if it's true.
Yeah, Lewis Latimer. He
You
was
don't
the
even
one
want to
who
know, bro.
really came up with the
You
filament
just
that made the
said,
light bulb phone.
listen. You just said earlier in your little argument, guy that's supposed to be Foundation of Black America, but he's not. He's from Honduras or something. You just said his story. You said that earlier. His story. He gonna write it how he want it to be. So who's in power? They gonna write it how they want it to be. If they got slaves and they got slaves coming up with inventions, who name gonna be on the invention, my nigga? Come on, bro. Stop it, bro. Bro. You sat around all day doing nothing, bro. You had people out in the fields working all day. Your kids grew up just knowing how to boss people around. They ain't learned no skills, bro. All the main things that have to do with America, bro, if you look deep, there's gonna be a black person in that situation somehow, some way, man. Stop it. This shit is crazy.
Functional. That's Lewis Latimer.
I have never heard of this gentleman. Okay.
Look him up. Nigga, I never heard of it either,
Yeah.
nigga. We finna learn together.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's saying it was primarily created by Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas A. Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Let me, but it doesn't say Lewis Latimer. Let me see Lewis Latimer.
You don't want to know, nigga.
I'll just look up Lewis Latimer contributions to the telephone.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yep. Look that up. Yep. Yeah. He did the blueprints and the patent.
Well, it says he didn't invent it, but
Yeah,
his work.
they always do that. They're not going to give us full credit. Yeah, that's what they do. We do things. There's a lot of stuff that we invented and contributed to, but they don't give us full credit. You know, just like with rock and roll and music, they don't. In country, we 100% created country. They don't give us credit for that, and they know we created it.
Well, why would you have me look it up then if you know they're not going to give credit?
But some people do. If you
Okay,
look
fair enough.
at the right sources, some people will tell the truth, and in some cases, they would tell the truth back in the day because they wanted authentic products, and they knew that black people had the authentic products. Just like the whole term "the real McCoy," that means the real deal. You know where that term comes from?
I do not.
It comes from a black man named Elijah McCoy. He had a mechanism for machinery that was so thorough, it was a lubricating mechanism that he invented that other people tried to simulate and make bootleg copies of. And people was like, no, we don't want this bootleg shit. We want the real McCoy, meaning we want the shit that the black man made.
Look, here's what I'll say, and we can go down these inventions one by one if you want, but
Yeah.
I'll just say this. I feel like you can talk about black culture and you can talk about how important it was in the foundation of this country because it absolutely was without revising history. Like I know in one of your documentaries you said black people created the
see, he never want to finish talking about what they did, what he talking about. Once he feel like the Tariq is killing them, he switch it to more hate towards black people. Y'all don't see this? He ain't stopping. He not trying to understand. He's getting everything he's saying. Tariq is basically giving him a lesson on it. He's learned the lesson. He's seeing what Google is saying. He's seeing all this stuff. He's still not convinced. He go to another thing he don't like. Another thing that he just, come on, bro. Like, why you even spending time on this nigga, bro? Like,
piano. That's just like not true. Like they did not.
look, some more shit that's not true.
And like I feel like if you're going to
So your whole spiel of just coming up with stuff that's not true, that you think is not true. That's your whole thing. That's what you're saying. Oh, that's just not true. Y'all think y'all individuals, y'all have no indigenous blood inside of y'all. That's just not true. Oh, I can't trust your history because, oh, you don't know anything, right? Why do you know so much about white culture, but you don't know anything about your own culture? You seem to know all about black culture and you like to be in black spaces, but your dad is Honduras. Why don't you talk to them people? Why you have words for them?
be a scholar, you have to give accurate history. Is that fair?
Well, the thing is, there were versions of the piano in Africa. Like they had like a little finger piano. That's either true or is not true. Is that true? Look, you want to Google that?
Who built the piano?
Yeah, they had versions of the piano in Africa,
Okay, hold on.
and the piano is basically a
Man, let me go
harp
to sleep,
turned
man.
sideways.
Okay, but it's not the same thing. It's like having some spin off of it is not the same as
He said a spinoff of it, but it was first. So what you got is a spinoff. You should have talking about what it was a spinoff. No, nigga, you got the spinoff, nigga. You see when we creating, you just do what the Chinese do. You just what they said, reverse engineer it and do your own shit. Then say you created it. No idea is original, man. Everybody know that.
like the fully assembled thing. Can we
Yeah,
admit that that's the case?
it kind of is.
Like if you build something that approximates the piano, but it's not the piano, it's not technically a piano.
Yeah, yeah, kind of it is. It's the same. It's the same mechanism. A piano basically is a harp. That's all it is. If you look at a piano, you open up a piano, it's a harp inside of it.
That's what it is. String, and
And
that
they just
is
laid it to the side and then you just hit it with keys
re-engineered it.
instead of playing it with your fingers.
You ain't create nothing new,
Huh?
nigga. Something was already
Okay,
out. You just upgraded it.
I mean, mm,
I mean,
it's not what we would associate with the piano. Is all I'm saying.
I don't give a fuck
Well,
with
you
you.
know
Who
what a
is
piano
we?
is when you
See, he's saying that we. Who is we? Who is you with? Because you talking to a financial black American, you talking to a black person, but you saying we, not like you and him. So who is we? Who is your we?
see one, and I just think it's not. You can't have like some half assembled piano and call it a piano. That's all I'm saying.
but it would not be a piano without the harp. All right, so we just got to put it all in context. And
You
our
ain't got no
brother
piano without the
Kava
harp,
broke it
dummy,
down in the film Hidden
idiot.
Colors. Um, in Africa, they had like a finger piano, like a little instrument that you play with your fingers like a piano. So there were versions of it. So it would not be what it is if it were not for black people. So that's not reaching. The person who is credited, Christofori, with making the keyboard like piano, he would not have been able to do that if it were not for the inventions of the harp and other things by black people. And the Moors brought that stuff in. They brought that into Europe.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll have to look more into that because, to my understanding, the piano
Look like obviously you don't know shit. You don't know shit. You just probably looked up things that white people created and they just gave you that without giving you a breakdown of where that shit come from. Dummy. Idiot. Shit is diabolical, bro.
was created, uh, at least to my understanding, in Italy,
Right.
or by an Italian person. But I just want to say this
Also,
because
and again, with the in a lot of the stuff coming out of Italy at that time, this is stuff that was influenced by the Moors. So that's what that
in
is.
Italy,
Yes.
Wrong,
Yeah.
dummy.
okay, see, this is the thing. You can't just say, see, this is the problem. You can't just make things up as you go.
No,
What did
you
I
can't make the
make up?
that's
What?
what
Well, well,
you
well,
can't
now
make
you're
up shit.
saying that somehow the Moors are responsible for the inventions that came out of Italy. It's like, where is this? Like, this is.
Yes, a lot of things that came out.
No, nigga, he said that instrument deal. That's what he talking about. You trying to put him set and make it seem like he said all things that come out of that was. Come on, man, stop it, bro. Stop it. Bad faith argument.
Italy, the more because the Moors were in Italy too.
So now it's going to get to a thing where I have to like go down every invention that the Moors
Black people was everywhere.
came up with, and it's like,
But the thing is, look, when you look at parts of Europe where they have all of this innovation and the Renaissance and all of that, why are they getting it where the wars are? Anywhere where the Moors are, all of a sudden these Europeans are getting enlightened.
is really
Yeah.
okay. Give me one example, because yeah,
Um, all of the inventions.
because this is something you hear a lot that they made the Enlightenment based on Islam or based on Muslims.
Yeah, the Renaissance was basically they were getting information from the Moors. They were getting a lot of knowledge from the Moors. The Moors were bringing in a whole bunch of knowledge, innovations, scholarship, And that's where the Europeans were getting it from. And after the Reconquista, after they kicked the Moors out, they kept the knowledge. Y'all get y'all black asses out.
That I know about. That I've heard of.
Right.
Oh,
Y'all get the hell out.
so you heard about that, but you didn't hear about the bro. You just
Out of here, but we're gonna keep the scholarship you have. And they took the scholarship underground and start teaching it as a form of Masonic rites and all of that to keep it secret. That's why when they have these Masonic organizations, they wear shit like fezzes, like Moors, and stuff like that. Huh?
I see. Well, I mean, I'll have to go. I'll have to look into that. But
you just
the
said you
the,
knew
the
about it.
fundamental thesis that I kind of wanted to outline here is that, look, at the end of the day, when you look at this country, and because that's what we were initially talking about, and I brought up all those inventions, it is true to say that white Americans are largely, if not uh, m m mostly responsible for the fruits that this country has bared.
Fuck no. Fuck
At
no.
least like
What are the fruits?
technologically speaking.
Fuck no.
Technologically
What are
speaking.
the fruits? What are the technologies?
Well, like I said, the power grid, the personal computer, the automobiles, airplanes,
Okay.
um, software, things like that.
No, that what you're saying ain't even true.
It is. That's all true.
Not true.
Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs.
Dude, it was a black man named Mark Dean was the one who came up with the computer chip that everybody's using. Google that.
Okay, but no, because now you're going to say one individual black person contributed one individual thing.
But you
That's not the same.
can't talk about all the technological advances and then ignore the black people who brought some of those advances too. Come on now, you can't do that. You can't talk about the automobile and then ignore the Patterson Car Company. That was a car company that was in the early 1900s, a little bit before or right around the time as Henry Ford, and they were making higher quality cars than Henry Ford. The Wright brothers, they got their airplane, the patent for their plane after a black man got his patent for his aircraft in the early 1900s. Henry Ford was working with our good brother George Washington Carver. That was his right hand man giving him all of the game. So come on now, we've always had a footprint in this stuff. Everything you name, I can show you the black person who was right there. That's either
That
true or is not
so
true.
well, hold on. You said there was somebody who helped the Wright brothers
No,
that had a patent for an airplane before them.
Yes, I
yeah,
seen that
there was they
earlier
didn't
today.
help the Wright brothers. There was
That,
a
and then
foundational black.
hold on, I know this one. I don't know his name, but he was going to a fair for he spent all of his money for it. I seen it somewhere. I seen this, but I think it was like in 1902 or something. I don't know when the Wright brothers did, but it was before the Wright brothers. Uh, he put it on the train, and it never got there. And then, but he got his patents though. Before he even do all that, he got the patents for it. But it's not like a real airplane. It's like it's a ship, and they used a balloon, but it was some type of aircraft at that time. I know a little bit, bro. I know a little bit.
American man who got a patent for an aircraft before the Wright brothers.
Okay, for an aircraft. Now you're saying an aircraft.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't the same as the
I
plane,
just said that.
as the Wright brothers. It wasn't the same thing, but it was a different type of aircraft
But with a
that was
balloon,
somewhat similar. And he was going to take that aircraft to the St. Louis World's Fair, the
a
World's
rare
Fair.
fur. Oh no! I remember the name of the fur now. The fur was a damn uh uh something the Louisiana Exchange, Fair Exchange, some shit like that. I think it's something that's famous, but he was supposed to go and present it there. It never made it.
They ended up somebody stole the shit from
See,
him because
told
they
you,
didn't want him bringing it there.
told
But
you.
he got his patented
He
before
got the
the Wright
patent before.
brothers.
I said
So
that.
we are very
Oh my
innovative.
shit!
We were doing a lot of phenomenal things. So you can't sit up and say that, yeah, it's just the white people who created all the fruits of everything. No, a lot of stuff was
Well,
coming from foundational black Americans.
well, it says neither of them had a patent for a heavier than air flying machine before the Wright brothers. So apparently there's like some caveat to what you're saying. It's
I don't know what you're reading, but yeah, I'm just telling you, there was a black man who had a patent for an aircraft that he created. And he got his patent before the Wright brothers, and they sabotaged him. Some people sabotaged him, which happened a lot. That's another thing. We create stuff and we try to innovate. We get our stuff stolen and we get sabotaged, but we still keep it on. You talk about Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison repeatedly tried to steal inventions from a foundational Black American man named Granville T. Woods. In fact, he kept having to go to court with this brother trying to steal his stuff. Look that up. Granville T. Woods. I can bring the scholarship, and I can give you names to verify everything that I'm saying,
I
sir.
like this. I like
Yeah,
this.
I'm gonna have to read like a book that has like a collection of all the Black American inventors because yeah, I'm not familiar with this. I'll be honest with you. You're probably a lot more
He is.
experienced and well read on this
He
stuff than I
is.
am. So, you that's that.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that, y'all. I'm going on down there 2 hours. This is a long one, man. This is a long one, man. So y'all have a good one, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. This is 10 o'clock in the morning. I ain't been to sleep yet. I got off at 6. So I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated. YouTube, love me. Facebook, love me. Instagram, fuck you, Instagram. And TikTok, fuck you too. TikTok, fuck you. Took my motherfucking Instagram. I mean my TikTok. But my Facebook came back, y'all. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, man. My Facebook, I got it back, man. We back getting money, nigga. Yeah, we back getting money. Yeah. And YouTube, thank you, man. Y'all paying me now, man. Thank you. That's why y'all see my face more, man. I'm talking more, man. Show me the love I need, man. Give me the love that I need.
Amazing.
Give me the love I need. Please. We had a good show, y'all. I think this is a pretty good show. Tariq Nasheed versus the suspected, hold on, what is it? Suspected disinformant Fed. Y'all have a good one, man. When you see me, I'm shooting at you because I'm a FBA